Hi, I'm Kylie Barrett, and this is my reflection over collection policies, self censorship, and collection development. So, collection policies are important. Policies are important for a number of reasons, no matter what profession you're in. And having collection policies in the library is essential when creating a consistent, transparent, and efficient library. Setting clear criteria for what kinds of materials are or aren't selected to fill the library. You consider format, age, points of view, the community, all to help keep the library consistent in matching with the library's mission. It prevents random or personal bias to dominate what is selected into collections. Without setting the clear criteria and expectations, one person's views or bias may take precedent over the others. So patrons may not find what they need or what they want if the collection is based off of just one person's viewpoints. Written policies provide framework of expectations for decision making. They can be shared publicly so that the patrons can access to gain knowledge on how or why materials are selected or removed. And then it's also used as a reference point for complaints or challenges to materials when those may arise and someone wants to challenge a piece of literature. Without a written policy, it would be a lot harder to defend the library's choices. So, written policies reduce the perception of arbitrary decisions and provide backup when those challenges arise. Since libraries have a limited budget, space, and staff time, policies help guide librarians on what to purchase, what to keep, or what to remove. It also helps to prevent overbuying or buying unnecessary items that really won't be used. Technology formats and communities also need change, so a policy that addresses these things will ensure that outdated or damaged items don't clutter the shelves and the library's collection remains relevant and usable to the patrons in the community. We don't want to keep things we don't need, but we also want to make sure that we do have the things that the people in our community are looking for. So, self censorship, I chose the article called Self Censorship and Freedom by Peter Wood. To me, self censorship is when someone chooses to limit or withhold their thoughts, ideas, beliefs. A lot of the time, people avoid sharing because they're scared that they're going to hurt someone's feelings or they're going to be viewed differently or it's going to have a negative effect on them. Um, it could be problematic if it prevents an honest discussion or someone from learning. So if we resist and we hold back because we are scared of being judged, um, we're not really benefiting anyone. Limited viewpoints, unseen problems, and loss of trust are just a few things that could happen when we don't openly communicate and remain honest. Peter Wood discussed that diversity in practice has given us two paths that dramatically diverge. One path is to celebrate diversity, and the other is being that diversity is our strength. He states that without erasing social differences, we can unite the idea of a better America. And then another point he made that I really liked was that governing one's tongue is a good idea, but that we must resist the urge to speak so quickly and listen. Self censorship does not have to be a perpetual condition, it means to learn to listen and speak wisely. And to apply that as a librarian, choosing books solely based on my views and not considering the community would be a disservice to my students and their families. Being open minded is key. We can all have different views and beliefs, but we should remain kind and loving in our delivery. And lastly, for the article over children's collection development, this is something that I really enjoyed reading. Something that stood out the most to me was the conclusion of needing both books that are appealing and books that are not. If we choose the books that look familiar but are full of the same storylines and the kids don't really have to guess or use their imagination, it's not really doing them a favor. So I agree with him saying we need to choose both. We need to open their imagination and inspire their love for reading even more. And here are my references. Thank you.